My bad mother abandoned me, so I exposed her lies to a rich ex, and this made me so relieved. The flickering neon sign of the diner across the street cast an eerie glow on the rain-slicked pavement. I hugged my threadbare jacket tighter, my stomach growling, a symphony of hunger pangs that mirrored the emptiness inside me. It was just past midnight, the city settling into an uneasy slumber, the air thick with the scent of exhaust fumes and broken promises. I was 17, and for the past 4 years, I'd been living with the crushing weight of a secret, a truth that gnawed at my soul. My mother didn't love me. It hadn't always been this way. There were flashes of warmth in the hazy memories of my childhood, fleeting moments of laughter, and genuine connection that now felt like faded photographs, their colors bleached by time and disappointment. My parents had never married, their relationship a tumultuous whirlwind of passion and resentment that imploded when I was 5. My father, a struggling musician with a heart of gold and a penchant for bad decisions, had drifted out of our lives, leaving behind a trail of broken promises and unpaid child support. Mom, a woman whose beauty was only surpassed by her ambition, had quickly moved on, her boyfriends a revolving door of wealthy men who offered a temporary escape from the drudgery of waitressing and the crushing reality of single motherhood. I became an inconvenient truth, a living reminder of her past, a burden she bore with a mixture of resentment and begrudging obligation.
Don't you dare tell him how old you are,
She'd hiss, her voice sharp as she applied another layer of lipstick, her reflection in the mirror a carefully constructed mask of youthful allure.
and for God's sake, try to act like you have some manners. Don't want him thinking I'm raising a savage.
These men, these temporary fixtures in our chaotic lives, were always older, always successful, always captivated by Mom's carefully curated facade of youthful naivete. And I, the awkward teenager with my secondhand clothes and messy hair, was an unwelcome intrusion on their carefully orchestrated fantasies. I learned to be invisible, to fade into the background, my presence acknowledged only when it served her purpose. I was the prop, the dutiful daughter, trotted out for occasional dinners or weekend outings, my role carefully scripted, my lines memorized, yes sir, no sir, thank you for the lovely gift. But behind the mask of politeness, a simmering resentment grew. I resented her for using me, for sacrificing my well-being for her own selfish desires. I resented her for the constant stream of strangers who paraded through our lives, their fleeting affections a hollow substitute for the unconditional love I craved. And most of all, I resented her for making me complicit in her charade, for forcing me to lie, to pretend to be someone I wasn't. Then came the incident that shattered the fragile truce we'd established. Mom's latest conquest, a real estate tycoon named Richard, had taken a particular shine to me. He was a kind man, his eyes crinkled with genuine warmth, his conversations with me devoid of the usual condescension I'd come to expect from Mom's suitors. One evening, as we sat on his yacht, the city lights twinkling in the distance, he asked about my plans for college. I'm hoping to study journalism, I said, my voice hesitant, surprised by his genuine interest.
Journalism? That's wonderful. You must be a good writer.
I shrugged, the years of suppressing my passions, of downplaying my intelligence, making it hard to accept a compliment. I enjoy it, I mumbled.
Well, you should be proud of yourself,
he said, his smile genuine, his gaze unwavering.
It takes a special kind of person to tell stories, to shine a light on the truth.
The truth, those words struck a chord, resonating deep within me. The truth about my mother, about her lies, about the carefully constructed facade she hid behind, it clawed at my throat, demanding to be released. A few weeks later, Richard and Mom's relationship imploded. She stormed around the apartment, her rage a familiar tempest, her words a venomous torrent of accusations and recriminations.
He dumped me. The bastard dumped me,
She shrieked, her voice cracking with a mixture of anger and disbelief. I kept my distance, my heart a lead weight in my chest. I knew she blamed me, find some way to twist the narrative to fit her own victimhood.
It's your fault.
She spat, her eyes narrowed, her finger jabbing at my chest.
You and your stupid stories. He probably thinks I'm a bad mother because of you.
I wanted to scream, to unleash the years of pent-up frustration, to tell her that her own actions, her relentless pursuit of superficiality, had driven away the one man who had shown me genuine kindness. But I held my tongue, the familiar fear of retaliation keeping me silent. Instead, I retreated to my room, the walls closing in, the silence suffocating. That night, as I lay in bed, my mind racing, I remembered Richard's words. It takes a special kind of person to shine a light on the truth. And for the first time, I allowed myself to consider the possibility of exposing my mother's lies, of revealing the carefully constructed facade she hid behind. I knew her secrets, the carefully crafted narrative she spun for each new conquest, the elaborate web of lies she'd woven to trap them, to extract their money, their affection, their validation. And I had proof. Months earlier, while snooping through her things, a habit I developed out of a mixture of boredom and a morbid curiosity, had stumbled upon a hidden compartment in her jewelry box. Inside, nestled among fake diamonds and costume jewelry, was a stack of old letters, love notes from past conquests, each one a testament to her manipulative charm. I dephotographed them, a morbid fascination compelling me to document the evidence of her deceit. At the time, I hadn't known why. Now, I understood. I spent the next few days meticulously compiling the evidence, creating a digital dossier of her lies. Photos, screenshots of text messages, emails, bank statements. It was all there, a damning indictment of her carefully curated persona. With a trembling hand, I sent it all to Richard, along with a brief message: "I thought you deserved to know the truth." The silence that followed was excruciating. Days turned into nights, my anxiety a constant knot in my stomach. Had I made a mistake? Would he believe me? Or would he dismiss it as the ramblings of a disgruntled teenager? Then the phone rang. It was Richard.
"I need to see you,"
he said, his voice grave, the warmth I'd once heard now replaced by a chilling calm. We met at a quiet cafe, the rain drumming against the windows, a fitting backdrop to the storm brewing inside me. He looked older, wearier, the twinkle in his eyes extinguished, replaced by a sadness that mirrored my own.
"I received your email,"
he said, his voice low, his gaze unwavering. I nodded, unable to speak, the weight of his judgment pressing down on me. He pulled out a printout of the photos, the emails, the bank statements, the evidence of my mother's deceit laid out on the table between us.
Is this all true?"
he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Yes," I said, my voice cracking. She's been lying to you. To all of them." He sat there for a long moment, his silence heavy with the weight of betrayal, his face a mask of disillusionment. And then, something shifted in his eyes. The sadness was replaced by a steely resolve, a righteous anger that mirrored my own.
"Thank you,"
he said, his voice firm, his gaze meeting mine with a newfound clarity.
"You did the right thing."
What followed was a whirlwind of legal proceedings, a public spectacle that stripped away my mother's carefully constructed facade, revealing the manipulator, the con artist, the woman who had used love as a weapon, her beauty a tool for extracting wealth and security from unsuspecting men. The truth, as they say, has a way of coming to light. And when it did, it shone a harsh spotlight on my mother's carefully curated life, exposing the cracks, the lies, the emptiness that lay beneath the surface. She lost everything. Her reputation, her social standing, her carefully cultivated network of wealthy suitors, it all vanished like smoke, leaving behind only the bitter ashes of her own deceit. She tried to contact me, to explain, to justify, to blame. But I refused to engage. Her apologies felt hollow, her promises empty. The damage had been done, the trust irrevocably broken. As for me, I moved on, leaving behind the ghost of my past, the burden of her lies. I channeled my anger, my pain, into my writing, my words a weapon against injustice, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. I never forgot Richard's words: "It takes a special kind of person to shine a light on the truth." And as I navigated the world, my eyes wide open, my voice finding its strength, I knew that my mother's betrayal, however painful, had inadvertently set me free. The world, I realized, was full of people like my mother, masters of manipulation, experts at exploiting the kindness of others. But it was also full of people like Richard, people who valued honesty, integrity, and the courage to speak truth to power. And as I embraced my own strength, my own voice, I knew that the last laugh, the true victory, lay not in revenge, but in the quiet satisfaction of living a life defined not by the lies of others, but by the unwavering pursuit of truth, of authenticity, of a love that was real, earned, and freely given.